My name is Vanessa, and I'm growing a cut flower farm in Edgewood, Washington, Zone 8B. In 2017, I started growing cut flowers in my grandfather's garden to aid him in a romantic endeavor. And now, with the help of my partner, we're building a business and a community around the local flower movement in our little corner of the Pacific Northwest. Welcome to Pops. Fish fertilizer smells so good on a hot day. What's up, guys? It's V. I am in our not prettiest room on the farm, mixing up some fertilizer because it is time to foliar feed all of our summer crops out in field A. So I've got my first gallon mixed up and pumped up, and we are ready to go. All in all, the crops are looking really good. This is a bunch of cool season stuff. There's some dahlias. And here's our glorious bachelor buttons. All right, that's that job done for the week. It is hot. It is about 7 p.m. and I think it's still above 80 degrees, which for us in the Pacific Northwest, that's hot. It's June 1st, and that means we're 60 days out from our opening for summer and fall flower sales. So there's a lot to do on the farm and a lot that we've gotten done so far. One of the things you will notice next time you're at the farm that we have done is we have removed all of our cottonwood trees at the back of the property. Now, this was not an easy decision to make, but ultimately I think we made the right choice. We were concerned about the safety of the neighbors. All winter long we would watch these cottonwoods and they would just sway in the wind, and for those of you that don't know, they're notorious for falling over, dropping branches, breaking property, hurting people. So it was just a liability we didn't want to have. And we got the opportunity to have them down more or less for free. So we hopped on it. I personally am one for privacy. I don't know about you guys. So I'm really bummed to lose what I was calling our illusion of seclusion. Obviously our farm looks like it could be out in the middle of nowhere, but it's not. It's 60 seconds from a main road that gets, I don't know, like 40,000 people a day that drive on it for commuting north to south in the South Puget Sound. But I know that I am going to go ahead and do some major landscaping around here when I have the time. And one of those big projects is going to be building up a proper border with plants, not with a fence, to get that illusion of seclusion back. There was, of course, one advantage to taking down all of those trees, and it is wood chips. Right now we are using them in our pathways, and I love it so much more than the black plastic. Although if I have to be honest, I got a little more than I bargained for. Here is the remainder of the 25 yards-ish that we ended up spreading all around the pathways of Field A. And just there is another 25 yards that we are beginning to spread all around the pathways and a border of Field B. And behind me is the other 300 yards I didn't know I was gonna get. It may not look like much from here, but that is legitimately 300 yards of wood chips. Probably the area that is most changed by getting rid of trees is the front of the property. I'll walk out there and give you a little bit better view. So the neighbor's dog is having a panic attack and I apologize. But this is the front of the farm, speckled light and all. This is the area where we took out, I think it was 8 cottonwoods, and it just completely opens up the property. I think it's way more welcoming and inviting, and we're super happy with it. Our wonderful neighbor who we split this little chunk of land with here at the front of our house went ahead and put in these 6 beautiful dogwoods. They are variegated white and pink, and I just can't wait to see them get bigger. I think they're just going to make the whole area look great, especially with, again, the neighbor's beautiful evergreens right here. told myself this video wouldn't be a farm tour. Ooh, a bunny. Anyways, I said this video wouldn't be a farm tour, but I just want to show you a few more things, you know? This is the flower bed at the front of the property on the right-hand side, the west side, and I can't wait to do some work out here, but I noticed this little rose is blooming. We don't have a lot of plants that the original owners planted, but this is one of them. It doesn't quite get enough light here, but it is so beautiful. So, like I was saying, we have a lot that we have gotten done and gotten ready for our summer season that's coming up, and we have a lot more to do. Our next big project that we're going to be tackling next week and making lots of video content about is building our farm stand. And it's going to go right here in front of the cabin, perfectly visible and welcoming for when you first arrive at the property, just there. So for our farm stand, we did a subscription drive this spring, and to be honest, I did not advertise it as well as I probably should have, so we were not wildly successful. But for an impromptu little drive, we did pretty good. In all, for a spring sub drive, we raised $1,739. Now, our goal was $2,500, and that was the amount we needed to build a small building that you could walk into that would operate like a farm store. Of course, we set that goal before the COVID fiasco really started hitting the lumber industry. Sorry, there's a small recreational airplane. We live surrounded by airports, like big international airport and small recreational ones. I was saying, we made that goal before we realized what the price of lumber was going to be. I'm sure there are plenty of people out there also in that boat. So since we didn't hit our goal and the price of lumber is so crazy anyways that it probably wouldn't have been enough to do what we want to do, we have completely downsized our farm stand ambitions for the time being. But it's still going to be totally cute and extra functional because that is a necessity with everything that we do on the new farm. We are starting to build this week and put everything together for the farm stand, so I'm excited to get a bunch of video and bring you guys along on the process. And the cool thing about it is that what we don't spend on the farm stand is going immediately into what was one of our stretch goals, which is a greenhouse. Nothing heated or anything fancy, just whatever we could put together with the money we had. But yeah, so the leftover funds from the farm stand that we won't be spending because we're downscaling our vision for the year, and probably for a couple years, to be honest, until we can really build that farm store that we have in mind. It's all going to go to a greenhouse, so that's great. We get like the best of both worlds. So I'm out here getting ready to harvest these bachelor buttons, and I just want to bring you along and show you my process. I always make sure to bring 2 buckets with me. One of them has water and the other one is empty. And I do that for pest management and quality blooms. So the blooms get cut straight into the water bucket, and then anywhere that I find something that is diseased or damaged, it gets tossed in here and goes out to our waste pile, our forever waste pile, way out there. Aha, this is what you want to avoid. You want to go ahead and harvest your bachelor buttons before they get pollinated. Now, I haven't been out here in a couple days, and these actually aren't going to be for sale because I don't have enough other things to go with them. So these actually are kind of a treat for the bees and a treat for me. But if you're growing them to sell, definitely get to them before these little guys do. This would be a totally acceptable stage of harvest, as would this. Or this. Here is a perfect example of a first cut that I make when harvesting bachelor button. So if the plant has never been harvested before, I do a deep cut. You can see that we are technically losing a handful of other blooms, but this acts like pinching and the plant will go ahead and branch and we will get tons of blooms with great stem length after this cut. So we did pretty good for ourselves. The patch looks very picked over, but that is okay because in a couple of days it'll look exactly the way it did just now, except it won't, because I'm going to get back to my morning harvesting routine. That way I beat the bees to the crop just like we talked about before. So that's it for me for tonight. The camera makes it look light, but it actually is getting dark. I hope you guys enjoyed hanging out, hearing about what's new at the farm, and picking some bachelor buttons with me. I'll see you guys soon. Next video is going to be a full farm tour. I can't wait to show you the plants that I have in the ground, the crops that I have coming, my mistakes, and all of my successes. Thanks so much for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Even toss a comment down in the comments. Every little bit helps. We'll see you next time.